What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I have been wanting to make this for a while. I want to talk all about how I recently have glowed up, leveled up, and how you can too. So I feel like I am always going through different eras, and I really like that about myself, that I have a willingness to change and grow, you know, because I feel like change is so often a good thing and can bring so many different new avenues and opportunities for you in your life. So when I say I leveled up or glowed up, I don't just mean physically or aesthetically, though we're gonna get into that as well. I feel like there's just been certain things I've been doing in the past few months that have really just shifted my life and my experience going throughout each of my days. The first thing, y'all, is dressing more feminine and classy. So I would consider myself to be girly. Like in the past, I've always been into makeup, I've always been into clothes and doing my hair and that kind of thing for the most part. I would just always feel very self-conscious when I would wear dresses and skirts, when I would wear heels, and I think I kind of thought that I would be getting more attention and harassment, you know, going about my day if I were to dress like that. And so I started trying it out because, you know, you watch all these videos about feminine energy and they're always like, oh, wear dresses and skirts, wear flowy, you know, things. And so I tried it out, and y'all, it does get you more attention. Like if you are to wear a long skirt or like a long dress, florals, just very girly, like not short skirts, not short dresses, but like long to mid-length, you get a certain kind of attention that is just so much better for the most part, because people really treat you like a lady. And I think that is kind of where the disconnect was for me before. I low-key thought of dressing feminine as dressing like Fashion Nova Instagram baddie, which that's just a completely different aesthetic. And yeah, you're gonna get attention if you dress like that, but you're not gonna get that like respectful, being treated like a lady attention. So just to continue with physical things, doing my hair and makeup every day. I would do my makeup before, but doing like a full beat on days where I know I'm gonna be out and about. Again, before, this would kind of make me self-conscious. You just get treated so much better when you're out and about. People treat you like a lady, people want to do things for you, and you get less of that creepy, unwanted harassment because people are looking at you like a lady and someone who's classy and someone who probably comes from, you know, good circumstances, rather than, oh, you look trashy, or you look like you just came from the club, or you look promiscuous, or anything like that. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, like, but if you're not getting the results that you want in your life or from people that you date or whatever, it's kind of good to look at these things and kind of reflect on what you're doing that may be attracting what you are attracting. I think also dressing less trendy, which that's not to say I don't dress trendy ever, but just a lot less trendy. Like I try to dress a lot more classic now and feminine. I get such different compliments now when I not even go out, but just go out and about. When I'm, you know, somewhere, I will get such different compliments. Now I get compliments like, you're so classy, you look so elegant, you look so beautiful, versus before, you know, I was kind of trying to do like a street style thing. I was trying to be very trendy with the sneakers that I wore, and then dressing just, I don't want to say masculine because it's not masculine, but like crop tops, baggy pants. If I was to dress up, it would literally be a Fashion Nova bodysuit with sneakers, and that's what I would wear going out in LA, which, I mean, that's normal for LA, but now it's like, she looks so elegant, you look so elegant, you look so beautiful. I was on a date with this guy, and he was like, you know, like we had seen each other a few different times, and he one time said to me, you know, I really like how you dress. And I specifically only have worn like long skirts and dresses around him and like heels. I've only worn heels. And he was like, you just dress so classy. It's so refreshing. And I was like, oh, thank you. And he was like, and you don't dress crazy. And I was like, oh, thank you. And then he started asking me if I had ever owned a pair of sneakers. I was like, mood. Like that's honestly the vibe I want to give off. Another thing is I get a lot more compliments from people in general and from different people. So for example, this is the best. I have had so many little girls come up to me in this new era and tell me that I'm beautiful, tell me that I look like a princess. And you know, that's not gonna happen when you're wearing your Fashion Nova jeans with your little crop top and like dunks. It's just not, someone could tell you that you're beautiful. I'm not saying you're not beautiful if you wear that, but it's just the vibe. Like you kind of go from this street style, trendy thing to like timeless. And I'm not trying to say everything I wear is timeless, but it's just more so in that category. And it's just a lot more mature, classy, put together. This has also made a big difference in the type of guys that I attract. With that being said, it's also about how you carry yourself, and I think this is also a big thing that has changed for me in the past year. Just learning more about feminine energy, and I've made videos about that if you guys want to check them out. So time for a little psychology. You know, I am the oldest sibling in my household. I have a younger sister, and if you are the oldest child, especially the oldest daughter in your household, you understand we grow up, you know, having to figure a lot of things out on our own. You kind of just have this responsibility built into you, which is great in a lot of ways, but it's also like, let me know if you can relate, and even if you're not the oldest child, let me know if you can relate. But sometimes it's hard to ask for help. We feel ultra independent, and I didn't even realize how much this was kind of impacting especially my dating life and just in the day-to-day. I just have a specific memory of like before I really had gotten into the feminine energy thing and learned anything about that at all. I was going to a friend's barbecue or something, and I was carrying a few different bags. They weren't too heavy or anything, but it looked like a lot. And so my friend comes down to like meet me, bring me upstairs. He's a guy. He was like, oh, like, can I like take some of these bags? And I'm just like in my head like, oh no, like they're not heavy, like no, it's okay, like no, like I don't want to like burden you with this. But it's like, first of all, he's a man and he's offering, and it kind of just like looked crazy. And I just always think of that memory because he was kind of like weirded out by it that I said no. And so now I like make a conscious effort, especially around men that are interested in me or that I'm dating or whatever, accept their help. If they don't offer, ask. You know, even with silly little things. This guy was like, can I hold your jacket for you? I did not need him to hold my jacket. It was literally fine. But I'm like, yes, like, thank you. You want to impress me. You know, you're trying to just make my life easier. That's very nice. So thank you. And again, especially if you grew up with this kind of ultra independent mindset, it's like, that's great and all. I would say it's honestly better to be born with that and have to not unlearn it, but kind of learn it's okay to ask for help than like the opposite, because at least we can rely on ourselves. We always need to be able to rely on ourselves. But especially in dating, like dating men, you need to learn how to like ask them for help. And then it also changes the kind of guys that you attract, because if you're being ultra independent, you know, you're more in your masculine energy. To balance that out, you're going to be attracting more feminine guys that are going to be the ones asking you for help, asking you, can I have $10 out of your purse? You know, complaining and whining and not coming up with solutions, and you're going to be the one always having to solve the problems and come up with the solutions and kind of play that more masculine role in the relationship. So that has also been a big difference. Ever since I've been leaning more into my feminine energy, I have been attracting these more masculine guys. And masculine, not as in macho or anything like that, but just in the sense of being very gentlemanly and being problem solvers and solution oriented and wanting to actually date me and like court me and get to know me and impress me and take me to nice restaurants and actually plan dates and like, you know. And I think when you're kind of growing up in your late teens, early 20s, that's a little more rare, you know, and you're just kind of used to like chilling with a guy and like, let's hang, let's, you know. So that's been just a relief. And it's also like, okay, I know I'm good on my own. I know I'm very independent. So therefore, if I am going to be dating a man, he needs to be useful for what a man can be useful for, which is making my life easier as a woman. And I know that can sound kind of like, I think especially from some creators, it can kind of go down this route of being like ultra traditional and kind of, I don't know if culty is the word, but you know what I mean? Like it's just, we're backtracking. But to me, in my mindset and like how I have kind of experienced it, it's honestly just about not people pleasing, learning how to accept help and or ask for help, and just like stop trying to figure everything out on your own, especially around a man, because there's especially a lot of these younger guys who just kind of want to see what they can get out of a girl or a woman, and you kind of have to be careful of that. So a good solution to that is just to be in your feminine. Don't be afraid to ask them for things, because it will scare off the ones that can't do it, or that, you know, actually want a girl who's gonna pay for them or try to impress them or chase them. And we're not about that. If you guys listen to my podcast, I recently talked about this really life-changing book called The Power of Strangers. It talks about basically the power of strangers, how important it is to talk to people, learning how to talk to people, you know, how do you start a conversation with someone that you don't know, how to make it not weird, how to get over the fear of it, why we don't do it. It was so all-encompassing and so fascinating. So reading that book paired with all of the videos and posts that I consume about feminine energy, I think that has also made a big difference. I feel like it really helps you overcome any social anxiety or awkwardness, because when you have the confidence of knowing that you look good and that you look classy and elegant, mixed with the just in general information about how to talk to people and, you know, just practicing looking people in the eye. And this is just for like going about your day. This is not even about dating or anything, or like trying to seduce somebody, but that has also made a big difference for me, and I think just really improved my confidence, especially in talking to strangers. Being aware of how you're coming across, that's a really good combo I would recommend if you are trying to build your confidence up, especially when it comes to talking to people. And then this also kind of ties into dating and also just self-care, because a lot of that is like doing things alone, going to places where you would want to meet somebody, like a nice restaurant or tennis lessons, or I don't know. Let's say you're taking yourself out on a solo date, you're still gonna have to talk to people, you know, even if you have no intention of meeting anybody or whatever, you're still gonna have to talk to the bartender, the waiter, the person at the front desk, or whoever. Having these little tips on how to talk to people and making people feel comfortable, paired with your elegant, classy, feminine vibes, it's just unstoppable. And that's where, you know, I think the compliments just really come in. And I personally have just felt for myself this really good, new, fresh energy. Like I literally let the light in, like, babe, the light is in. And that really boosts your self-esteem. Like when you make a connection with somebody, when someone compliments you and gives you such a genuine compliment, it just makes you feel really good, and you just have such a good experience in whatever it is that you're doing, because there's this good energy that's already there. And then that also raises your standards, so you're just gonna want to keep doing that, whether it's like dressing more chic, asking for help, you know, having nice manners, looking people in the eye, making people feel seen. And therefore you're less likely to settle and less likely to put up with bad behavior from someone you're dating, or even a friend or whoever. And then you're also a lot less likely to take things seriously, because obviously your goal in life is not to make everyone be your friend or dazzle everyone, you know, but you can't take that personally. If someone doesn't see the light in you, that's on them. So last tip is to just not give that misbehavior or attention that you don't want any energy. And I've talked about this before on my podcast. An example was, don't send that long paragraph to that man. He knows what he did wrong, and you sending him a long paragraph is just kind of showing how upset he's getting you, and it's still giving him energy. I really think men specifically listen so much more to actions than words, which is also important in seeing their true intentions. Is do not listen to what they tell you, do not listen to their words, but look at what they do. So if you are telling this guy, I don't trust you, I can't be with you, you got me so effed up, this, that, you did all these things wrong, and then he's like, yeah, cool, whatever, you still coming over later though? And you're like, okay. Or a day goes by, he's like, you still mad? I want to see you, I miss you, baby. And then you go back. So you just wasted your breath, you wasted a text, and you're just going back. And now he's gonna look like, each time you do that, you look dumber and dumber. Versus if you're like, I'm over this guy's not treating me with respect. Or let's say someone seems cool at first, they finally ask you to hang out, but it's like a walk. It's a come over, let's Netflix and chill, and you're like, where now? You don't need to write a paragraph explaining how you deserve to be treated. You just ignore it and move on to something better. Take yourself out, like, so stop giving dumb things attention. You don't owe everyone an explanation, especially a man who's trying to coerce you. So actions over words, ladies. Look people in the eye, have good manners, and put yourself first above everything. And this advice is not to be like, oh, this is how you act as a woman in our society, this is how women should act. But if you keep kind of running into the same issues when it comes to dating, if you feel like your self-confidence is low, I would recommend trying this out, because let me tell you, it really does work. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you want more videos like this, and if you like hearing me talk, I do have a podcast. It's available on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, so check that out. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye everyone.